Good evening, everybody. I got my shorts on. My friend Rob lent me a pair of shorts. My legs are pretty white, but we're going to give it a... Hopefully it doesn't blind everybody. This is what happens when you're a welder. And, yikes. Your legs never see the time of day. You definitely got to get out more in shorts. But I'll give a few minutes to let people log on. We got to have a talk. I've got just an astronomical amount of messages from a lot of folks, a lot of followers, and even people inside the CCP party who've signed up. And I want to warn everybody, what the worst thing in the world, and this isn't a post because women fall prey, it's just the fact that our membership is literally 82% women. It's probably 78. I did sign up a bunch of men last week at OPG. I did get a whole bunch of guys, but it's a very, very small percentage, still under 20, but it did move the needle, but not that much. I have a lot of women, and a lot of older women, and this is over the age of 50. So of course, I know you care. I know you care. I know you want to fix Canada, and that's the role I'm giving to you in real, honest truth. That's all I've ever done. You're never going to find a story where a reporter or somebody, they may slam me, they may accuse me of things, that aren't true, but they've never, ever once, you've never had anyone call me a liar or a fraud. That's never been something that's been accused of me, and I don't do that. I've spent a very lot of time making sure that everything I give to everybody is verifiable, and it's the absolute truth. So I'm getting into this. There is a Canada First organization by a Filipino woman here in Canada, and she makes a lot of outrageous claims. She even has a website, not surprising there. There are thousands of organizations with websites where you can donate and give your hard-earned money or your retirement savings to. This is an astronomical problem in Canada because of the way our government operates, making and exploiting so much of Canadians through all their civil societies that are attached to government. Many of you think they are the government, but they're not. They're actually corporations in the non-profit societal category. I did a whole course about this. I did it a number of years ago now, and some of our executives in the CCP party, the board that's unpublished right now, have all gone through that course. There's even separatists out in Alberta who've gone through this course. So they've learned a tremendous amount more than the public, really, when it comes to dealing with government and its ties to civil societies. I know that's not something a lot of Canadians have gone through. Nobody ever looks at it, but a lot of organizations you think are government-branched organizations are not government organizations. They're independent of government. However, they're attached to government because they sponsor those politicians of the time to get them elected. Okay, that's a problem in Canada. So institutes, there's a whole bunch of names I could rattle off that would actually shake a lot of you. Go, whoa, wait a minute, I thought that was a government organization. No, it's not. It's not a government organization, but they are backing politicians, elected politicians. And a lot of people don't realize that. Even when a politician goes away, that society stays forever. Becomes what I call the tit, the public tit, which means all of you, you're paying for that long after the politician's gone. And in fact, when you elect somebody else, not only do you elect them, you get all of their buddies and their civil societies brought forward, plus every civil society ever created before that politician, no matter the party. So you never truly get rid of these political parties. It's why everybody, when you see politicians who get thrown out in an election, you'll see the very next government appoint them to cabinet or ministry positions. You can look it up and you'll find, what the heck? I know for Alberta alone, there were a whole bunch literally thrown out by Albertans in the election. And what happened? Premier Kenney appointed all of them even others thrown out of other provinces, appointed all of them to his ministry, gave them top positions in his ministry, his internal cabinet. So you never really got rid of the parties. And that way, Jason Kenney has control of all the civil societies. He can fill his back pocket and still make all those greasy, corrupt politicians that you threw out of office happy and rich at the same time, right? Then he doesn't have anyone in his way because there's no provincial constitution that stops him, okay? So why get into all of this? Lots of you are giving your money to people. I don't ask anyone for money. I've had lots of retired Canadians, and honestly, a lot of women have offered me money quite a few times, and I'm not going to name any names. That's okay. It's just, you're not giving me money isn't going to change anything. We're in COVID. The work I have to do is multi-provincial, and I'm not getting in the traditional way. So I'm working on that. I'm working on ways to get through Quebec and the Atlantic provinces. Thanks everybody for ideas, but keep your money. There's no donating to my party because it's not registered yet. When that time comes, when your party's ready, when all of you founding members are ratified in the party, you'll be there on website. Don't worry. I've already paid for all that. Building a website isn't what everybody thinks it is. It's not some kind of miracle. I've had 4 already. The real issue is who manages your website. And then when they get their greasy fingers in and think that they're going to take over your party just with the website, and that happens all the time. And so I'm careful about that. But ladies, retired Canadians, don't give people money in every narrative they promise something of the world. When you look it up and you look up these people, they're nothing that they claim to be. They're just somebody who holds a website or created an institution, which is really easy. $500, same amount to register a corporation. I know I've registered 3 corporations in my life. I'm a welder. I've run 2 companies with welding trucks. One, I had a couple of them. Another one was just me on my own. Another company was completely out of that. I was in the tech industry many decades ago, 2 decades ago. So, societies, same thing. We organized one for Alberta. We did that for the political because you have to merge them. So I understand that. Same as a corporation, costs $500. Anybody can do this. Anybody with a little bit of tech savvy and a little bit of education in law can go out, get a society, can go out, register that, $500, have a board of 5 people, turn around, build a website. You can do it for under $500. That's reality. And if you're really talented like myself, and I got that way from getting through it and actually doing the work, as tough as that is, and re-educating yourself, I did that. And the last website I had was very, very terrific. It was very nice, very professional. And I'm going to do it again, but we're just not there yet. When people claim they're a political party and they claim they're on the federal scene, all you have to do, Canadians, go to Elections Canada. There's no pre-registration process. So if you claim you're a political party in Canada, or you claim you're running a party and you have a website and you say all that, but yet you're not on Elections Canada, which there isn't a whole bunch, there's only 14. There are those trying, they're going through the process. Like thousands before, they're not going to get registered. They're going to get shut down. And that's just the way life is. Everyone claiming what they're claiming right now is a bold-faced fraud and liar. I only had to listen to literally 30 seconds of a video of the claim being made, and it's not to hurt feelings. These are predators. There's no shortage of predators. Canada's very relaxed on these kinds of laws because your politicians are the predators. They're the first at the pigs at the trough. But because they allow that to go, because they won't pass laws to protect you, the citizens, because then they would have to cut themselves out of that pig at the trough. So that means any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come along. Anyone from anywhere in the world come along, register a website and all these things in Canada and squeeze money out of you. They can squeeze every dollar out of you. All these courts everyone's talking about, I don't really know what more I can do to convince you as I publish the ICC, International Criminal Court, the highest court in the world, the only court that isn't voluntary if the P5 say it isn't. Any country will be bound to it. That's where I'm at. International Court of Justice, your government has to agree to go to it. Derek Sloan telling everybody, oh, we're going to get a tribunal, a royal commission, blah, blah, blah. And they recommend to the government, Canadians and friends, followers, everybody, do you think your government's going to voluntarily give up its power or give up its autocratic control over you? It's never happened in Canadian history. Not a once, never. They don't want to do it, and they don't have to, and there's no power on this earth to do that. A lot of you slamming me. Some ladies have actually quit my following, and that's fine. But for the rest of you trying to argue with me about courts, I keep saying to you, all of these people publishing all these claims and statements and what looks like court documents, except for they don't list a court. They don't list a court. If there's no court, there's no case. You have to show me what court. There are lots of tribunals held all over the world. Whoopie-doo. What court of law is that going into? What court of law? Show me what court of law that's binding on your government. Which one? And nobody can answer that. They still want to argue. If there's no court of law, there's no case, and there's no any kind of justice. Sorry, I don't know why anyone would think that somebody who provides all this documentation to you, but they can't provide you with the court that's hearing the case. You just have a creative writing fiction in front of you to suck the money out of your purses, out of your wallets. Now, no men are just as gullible in this as women. And it's not, that I'm aiming at women. It's just that my following and my political party is geared so far, it's attracted a lot of women. So, of course, more women are going to be feeding this back to me. And this is my big, big fear for all of you, that you're sending money to people who are just taking your money and it's gone. It's a fraud. It's a fraud. Where's the court? Show me the court. You can't. It's not about arguing with me or me arguing with you. It's the fact that what court is this documentation that someone creatively wrote? Is it in? Where's it registered? Show me that. If you don't have a court, you don't have nothing. I know which court you go to. There's only one. I know how to get there. We're working on it. Doesn't happen overnight. I don't need 50 cents to do that. Do you know that I sued the Queen? You can look it up. Justin Trudeau's finance minister had to answer. I actually pulled him out of Parliament. His former finance minister. I pulled him out of Parliament a number of years ago. It cost me $3, everybody. $3. I didn't even need a lawyer. Now I lost. But the judge gets to decide. It's against the government. It's King's Court. They decided they wouldn't hear my case in that court, and I was recommended to go somewhere else and threatened that should I press an appeal, I would be held financially liable for all the Crown's court costs, meaning all the prosecutors, all the investigators, the judges, all of it, and renting out that Superior Court for the day. Probably tens of thousands of dollars. Now, I could have pursued maybe, but the fact of the matter remained, what real answer I got was the Queen has nothing to do with Canada. UK's got nothing to do with Canada. That's just a creative works inside our Constitution. We're in a constitutional crisis. That isn't the world anymore. That's not our Constitution. It shouldn't be in our Constitution, but it is. So another thing, what else was brought up, a lot of people messaging me. So we took care of Canada First Party. We took care of the tribunals and the international courts without a registered international court. We took care of Sloan. Pierre Poilievre. Here's another one. For all of you sharing Pierre Poilievre today saying, oh, Pierre Poilievre, he just slammed a billionaire and he got it out of him. Why doesn't he support Canada's pipelines? Let's be clear. I can tell you about Brazil, everybody. Brazil's going through amendments right now. Brazil is the opposite of Canada constitutionally. Brazil has what's called juristocracy. That means the judges are in charge. Absolutely. Much of South America is in a version of colonialism from Portuguese and Italy, where the judges are even more powerful than the government. And if you got the right amount of cash, you can buy your way through a judge, okay? That's the opposite of Canada. Well, you can't buy your way out of our judges. The judges are bound absolutely to the crown, which is to your prime minister, and in each province, that's the premier. That's your highest provincial court. That's your highest federal court. King's Court, opposite of juristocracy, where the judge has all the power and say and can make any ruling he or she wishes, depending on how they feel that day, or if somebody did a little of this. So when a billionaire goes and buys a pipeline that Pierre Poilievre was scrutinizing today, sure, Pierre's right, but let's all just stop for a minute, because he didn't go into Brazil's constitution, he doesn't go into the juristocracy, and he most certainly didn't go into Canada's King's Court, because Pierre Poilievre wants to be ruler of King's Court as well. He wants to be in that cabinet ministry with Aaron O'Toole. He certainly doesn't want to tell you all any of that. I read Pierre Poilievre, so all of you followers, now if you don't like this and you want to leave, that's your choice. Some people are upset today messaging me, but I'm going to be clear. Pierre Poilievre has an outline, and it's all socialism based. Sure, he wants the pipeline, but he wants it so he can take all the revenue. Now, is that for you Canadians, or is that for another narrative? Because I can tell you right now, he published a 325-page document, a shadow document in February 21, where he stamps it, puts his name on it as head honcho of it while he was the shadow finance. And that document went through what he will do with Canada. Screams of socialism. Sure, he wants a pipeline, but he wants all the revenue for it, him and his government. Who cares if we get a pipeline if it doesn't benefit the people, or First Nations, or those from the region who harvested the resource? Because Pierre Poilievre has an entirely different system of what he'll do with that revenue. So really, honestly, at the end of the day, Canadians, if your gas prices are going to continue to go up and the pipeline doesn't help you one bit, but only fills fat politicians' pockets and all their special interest groups, doesn't help First Nations, doesn't help Albertans, sure, gives a few thousand jobs for a couple of years, but then where's the revenue? Where's the wealth for Canada? Uh-oh, you got a problem. All these people are corrupt, and I know thousands of people love him, and he says great things, but it's what he publishes in policy and platform. That's what you have to read. The boring 325-page document with all the links. It's over 427 pages. I went through it all painfully. There's not a politician who's going to get anything by me. Some people are offended. I know a lot of people, they say, oh, people want hope. No, lies are not hope. Lies are leading people off the edge of a cliff. Lies are what got us in trouble in the first place. When we stop accepting lies, when we stop accepting false narratives, because false narratives don't provide hope, they only provide you 6 feet under, or your children, and you're hurting your children or your grandchildren of the future. That's reality. Stop giving all these people your money. Put your money where it belongs, in your pockets. Pull back on giving anybody any money until they absolutely do something for you. There's going to come a time where I will need help with the party. At that time, you'll all be made aware. That's not the time right now. It's not the time. Save your money. These are hard times. This COVID, the amount of prices going through the roof on tremendous amounts of things. The inflation is double what your monies you're bringing in, meaning your standard of living has gone way down, your cost of living's gone way up. That's what's happening, Canadians. And it's not going away with the end of COVID. People are trying to blame it on COVID. Oh, well, the lumber mills, but this, that. Look at Canada and its vast resources. The reality is, if we had this country settled and it was for you, the people, if we had a constitution based on all of you, you would be wealthier than Saudi Arabia citizens. You would be, Canadians. Not just in oil, natural gas, and other commodities, but in other vast renewable resources. We are a small population in a tremendous country with many, many resources, much more resources than many, many places around the world, with a vast landmass. It's just we're locked out of it. Don't be fooled by everybody selling you more of the same old, same old. All they want to do is keep you down, keep you working harder, and tax the life out of you, and take away all your rights and freedoms until you're a slave to their system. We the people don't exist in the Canadian Constitution. Everybody wants hope. The hope is in 2023, the next federal election. The hope is your provincial election and getting somebody of character to run provincially for the people who wants to actually make a provincial constitution. That's what everybody has to get out there. Now I'm going for the big crown because I want to force that. I want to force those good citizens to come forward in the province, as well as I can force all sitting provincial and territorial governments. I can. That's the power of the crown, and I will use it full and exactly as it is in this broken confederation, in this broken constitutional crisis. I will exploit it legally with every and all greatest minds of the world to give to you, we the people. You all will decide the laws going forward with the best of the best, what will work and what won't. Bring forward your ideas, but it will be those experts who will guide you through and provide you an absolute historical truth in comparative law of every other country who may have tried your idea and how that went in real history. You're going to get to see that. That's the big gift that I'm giving all of Canada. All the regions, meaning provinces and territories, as well as the federal system. We're going to rebuild it all. It can be done that easy and literally one day. That's it, one day. But it takes a registered party, the legal means, the legal path, which is what I do. Yes, I will continue campaigning, but I need to get in those remaining provinces. I have to do it. We're in COVID. There's a lot of restrictions. I maybe shouldn't have talked about my job. That cost me, but now I'm going to keep it quiet. I got a job, back on. I'm writing tonight, everybody. I'm writing for Canada's three top universities. I'm invited to write for them. A small introductory into the paper I'm going to submit, and that will be decided in a year to come, which is great timing because it's likely I can win this. I think I can actually win this one. People are interested. They want to hear this. They know I've been out there on the world stage, and now I think Canada's ready, at least in Canada's top legal academic community. I think they're ready. I got the invite. It's due tomorrow at noon, so I'm going to get back to my writing, everybody. And we'll see how this job goes and what my new schedule is going to be. I had to switch back to day shift, so it's early starts, but I have that time after. So just hang tough, hang on, don't lose hope. The world wasn't built in a day. Contrary to what people will tell you, it was not built in a day. You can't rush great things. They take time. It takes energy. And we have time, Canadians. We're stuck with Trudeau. And even if we got rid of Trudeau, it'll just be one of the other broken parties anyway. And what good is that going to be? Everybody wants action right now. They're willing to give everything out of their purse and wallet to see that happen. And the wolves are out in full force right now. Some of these wolves are through your political parties that you say you hate. And you just don't know because they're one of those institutions, non-profit societies I warned you all about. And they'll go, gimme, I'm going to help you. There's one more to talk about. I almost forgot. So the German lawyer, the German lawyer who says Canada, Australia, Germany, we're going to go through this court process tribunal out to the EU. Canada's not a member of the EU. Germany's a member of the EU. But even if he does get this tribunal to the EU court, it's only binding if you're in the EU. Canada, you're not in the EU. It's not binding on your country. Canada won't accept it. EU can't even make a determination against Canada. They have one UNSC country, France, and France is not likely to rule that way because the rest of the UNSC is going to say, excuse me, I don't think so. And France doesn't want to hurt their veto power or run into problems with the fellow Permanent Five. That's reality. A decision on Canada is not binding only in the EU, and Canada's not in the EU. So you've already been frauded by a German lawyer who's absolutely milking you for all your money. Give me donations. He loves targeting countries like Canada, Australia, other countries that politicians don't put up barriers to the exploitation. Where this guy can get away with that, and there's nothing the politicians are going to do about it, because they do it too. They've made it legal in Canada. Because they're greasy. They're the greasiest greasers. Canadians, please stop giving everybody money. I'm not asking you for money. Don't give me any money. Don't give anybody any money. Keep your money where it belongs, in your purse and for your grandkids or your family. That's what I want you to do with your money right now. When the party gets registered, I'll prove it. You'll see it on Elections Canada. You're going to get your package if you signed those forms, founding membership forms. Canada's going to mail you a package. And then you're going to understand what I'm talking about, that holy smokes, this is real. All the others and all their claims. Where was the government package that came to you, registered by the government, registered mail? Oh, didn't get one. Don't fall for any more, Canadians. I made this to ladies because I have. Again, it's not sexist. It's the fact that 82% of our party, likely it might be about 78 now, 82% of our party is female. So that's why, because I get a lot of messages. So that's the only reason why. Not because women are more susceptible, because there is men too, but they're just not in the party. But that's my video. I hope it finds you all well. I got to get back to writing. I got to finish this entry. That's going in tonight. And we're going to see what happens at the weekend. I don't know what my work schedule is yet. I'm brand new, so I have to go with the company here, feel them out, see where I'm going with that. And then I'm going to know my schedule. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Hope I didn't blind you with my chicken legs here. Very white and bright. Okay. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy yourself. And remember what I said. Don't be giving anybody any money. Stop it. The politicians too. Stop donating. They're just robbing you blind. Pigs at the trough. You give enough. You suffer enough. Don't give any more money. Hold on to your money. A time and place will come for that. And it's never in the astronomical amounts these evil doers say they need. We need millions and millions of dollars. Prime example for Albertans watching. Look at Jason Kenney and his war chest. Millions. Albertans gave millions and millions. Some people maxed out their $4,000 limit donation for the war chest. Jason Kenney's party fund. Their Go All Over the World party fund. How was the war chest? Hey Albertans, do you see the war chest? Do you feel it? No. It's called con, rape, pillage, plunder, exploit. That is the power in Canada. It's the Crown power, to steal, rob, abuse, and rape, and there's no accountability, no liability for it. There are many tremendous amounts of non-profit foundations, societies registered that are just conning every dollar out of you. They sound like they're government, but they're not. They're attached to government because they pay off the politicians. They secure the politicians, and then they steal from all of you. And you're taxed and liable for the outcome of those societies too, their operations. It's sick. You're getting raped twice. Think about what I said. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye now.